The use of the Arkki system is via web browser. The most popular browsers, such as Google Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, Safari, and Microsoft Edge, are supported. In the address bar, by entering the URL configured by the system managers, you have access to the authentication page. If you've been configured as a local user, enter your username and password. If the system is integrated with a company domain, you must enter the domain name in the username field as a prefix followed by the /. Once the password is entered, click Sign in to access the system. The Arkki main page shows a catalog of objects called assets. An asset is a multimedia element composed of a media as a series of metadata that allows it to be cataloged. By positioning the mouse on one of the objects in the catalog, in the case of a video asset or an image, we will see a preview pop up. The total number of assets in the catalog is visible here. The catalog is divided into pages that are browsable at the bottom of the interface. The catalog order can be customized starting from this drop-down menu. Once the desired criterion has been chosen, you can select its orientation, ascending or descending. The catalog is shown starting from a view called Mosaic. You can change the display view by clicking on this icon. The catalog will then be shown as a list. You can browse the catalog based on the type of assets. Selecting one of the available options in the upper part of the interface, you can apply a filter that allows you to browse the catalog in a more targeted way by browsing only a specific type of asset. Asset types are generally implemented by the system administrators based on the cataloging needs of the user. The range of asset types can vary from the most classic media such as video, audio, pictures, but more particular objects such as vector graphics, text documents, and project files can also be envisaged. The types of files that can be uploaded to the Arkki system are generally agreed and listed in the initial implementation phase and may be subject to customizations based on the user needs. This chapter is dedicated to the browsing of the assets in the catalog. Clicking on one of them, the interface will present the details of the asset. On the left side, you have the media that can be fully browsed via the preview window. Below the preview window, there is basic information about the media, such as, in the case of audiovisual material, the original format, size, duration, and the upload date in the system. In the case of text documents, you have two additional options: the lens on-off command, which allows you to zoom in on the document, and the optical character recognition automatic extractor show OCR text command, which allows you to manage the text automatically extracted. The text is therefore fully available for browsing. You can select copy and paste, and the words contained in the text can be used within the search criteria engine. In the case of audio media, there is the audio waveform, which can be expanded using the horizontal zoom control. On the right-hand side of the interface, there are metadata describing the content of the audio media. They are divided into tabs. Within each tab, there are fields that can be customized according to the customer needs. The fields can be of various nature and range from textual fields, history information, drop-down menus, multiple selection menus, and links. If necessary, system administrator or media power engineers can generate new fields to enrich the metadata related to the asset, so that the retrieving of the asset will be easier during the search operations. Some of the tags may have specific fields, such as those dedicated to right management, useful for keeping track of the possible expiry of the reproduction or distribution rights. In the tab named General, there are specific fields that describe the type of assets. the original language useful for the OCR tool or for the search engine, the status field that identifies whether the asset is visible by other users or only by the owner, the storage field that indicates the current allocation of the native file, useful in the case of Arkki system is connected to more than one local or remote storage, and finally information regarding the Arkki database. The ID field contains hexadecimal code that uniquely identifies every single asset. The MD5 file hash field contains hexadecimal code which identifies the native file loaded in the system. The created field gives information on when the asset was created and the user who created it. The Categories tab allows you to carry out a further cataloging process and will be discussed in a dedicated chapter. The Technical Info tab truthfully reports all the information taken from the original file and is automatically filled in by the Arkki system. Similarly, if the file is an audiovisual media, the Media Info tab contains all the technical information taken from the original media file. To browse the previous or following assets, simply click on the icons shown at the top of the interface. By clicking on the back button, you will return to the main catalog. In the drop-down left menu of the interface, you can select the folder Drafts, which contains the assets generated by a user but not yet shared in the main catalog. For example, an asset whose metadata are not yet complete is shown in the draft folder. A blue draft label shown in the upper left corner of the media identifies this condition. To update the asset, click on the Options menu and choose the Edit command. Fill in the necessary fields, especially the ones classified as mandatory and marked with a red star. Then, in the General tab, it will be possible to change the status from draft to published. To memorize this change, click on the green Save button and choose Publish. Once the change has been saved, the asset will no longer be present in the draft folder. It'll be available in the main catalog and therefore shared and usable by other entitled users. In this chapter, we will analyze the tab Group Right Management. The information in this folder is useful in managing the rights of publication, distribution, and use of the assets. From a multi-selection drop-down menu, you can enter those users who must receive an email notification when the rights of the asset are expiring. A textual field can help to better describe the type of right that is expiring, and a data field will establish the effective expiration date. The two fields can be repeated several times in the case the same asset has different expiring dates in different areas. Once the Rights Manager is configured, when playing an asset, a notification pop-up may appear, warning you about some rights that are about to expire. The number of notification days is established by the system administrators or media power engineers through the administration panel. However, the notification pop-up does not prevent the use of the asset. To upload new files and generate new assets on the Arkki platform, click on the green Add button and choose one of the available type of assets like, for example, video. You reach a menu divided into two parts. On the left side, you can upload the file, while on the right side, you have the fields for the metadata. On the left side, drag and drop the desired file or select it from your local machine. On the right side, it is mandatory to fill in the metadata fields with particular attention to those marked with a red star. In fact, without having filled in those fields, it will not be possible to proceed with the saving procedure. In the General tab, you can choose whether to leave the assets in the drafts or private state and therefore not visible to other users, or set it in the published state available in the catalog for other users. Finally, click on the Save and then Save and Continue buttons, and the loading process will start. Once the loading bar reaches 100%, click Continue to end the process. The following page summarizes the asset information. To complete the saving, click Save and then Publish. The new asset will then be visible in the catalog. In some types of media, such as video, the yellow processing label indicates that the proxy generation process is still in progress. The proxy is a low-resolution version of the original video needed for the use of the asset by Arkki users. The same upload procedure can be carried out with the other type of assets such as audio, pictures and illustrations, test documents, or whatever other asset. If you want to proceed with the upload of more than one file at the same time, choose Add and then Multiple Uploads. When using multiple uploads, you must check the type of asset you want to add. In fact, in this case, the files to be uploaded must be of the same type as video, for example. Remember that you can find the type field in the General tab. For the other fields of the tab, the procedure is the same of the single upload. In the left portion of the interface, you can load multiple files at the same time, always by dragging or selecting them from your local disk. The selected files are shown in this portion of the interface, and in case of error, you can delete them pressing the X button. Press the Save button to start the loading process. Please note that with Arkki Web Interface, you can upload a group of files if it does not exceed a certain size limit. Normally, this threshold varies between 2 and 8 GB and is set for security reasons. Once the upload bar reaches 100%, click on Continue, and a new asset will be generated and shown in the catalog for each one of the uploaded files. An alternative method of uploading files via the web interface is the watch folder. This method is useful when you have a massive uploads or assets of different types. This is an FTP protocol file transfer, and therefore it will be necessary to use an external software. In this example, we will use FileZilla, but of course you can also use other software such as WinSCP, CyberDuck, Coffee Cup or others. Once opened, the software for file transfer protocol will connect to the Arkki site according to the settings verified together with the system administrators or the media power engineers. The interface will show you a watch folder with your name. Drag and drop to load even very extensive and heterogeneous files or even entire folders containing subfolders. When the upload via FTP is 100% complete, all the uploaded assets will be visible in your drafts. In the case of an uploaded list of files, they are shown as different individual assets, which can then be modified with the addition of metadata and eventually be published. In the case of a folder uploaded via Watch Folder, the folder is shown as a single object called Archive. Clicking on the Archive folder, on the left side of the screen, the original tree of the loaded folder is shown, and in every subfolder, all the files with their original names and extensions are shown. In this case, therefore, the metadata are added globally, working on the single Archive folder. Once the fields have been filled in and the archive type asset has been published, it is available for searching. If you want to search by the name of the files contained in the archive folder, you must select Advanced Search. Clicking on Catalog and then General, you must type the name of the file in the field, type the file name to be searched into an archive. Type the name of the file or part of it and press Search. The archive type asset is then shown among the results. Browse on it until you find the desired file. As for the other assets, with the archive type object, you have many options like download for the download of all the files contained in the original tree, or share, edit, and delete. It is also possible to download a single file. Put the mouse on the selected file, right-click, and then click Download. In this case, only the selected file is downloaded. The assets in the catalog may be modified. In the Options menu of each individual asset, select the Edit option to enter in the Edit tab. If the user has the editing rights, he can then update the metadata fields or the original media. Clicking on the X Remove Asset icon to the left, the source file is deleted, and you can proceed with the upload of a new file. Select the new file from your local machine and you'll see all the relative information. If needed, you can edit the metadata. You will then proceed as usual with Save and then Publish. The file upload will start, and once it is 100% completed, press Continue. To end the process, press Save and Publish. The system will keep track of the asset modifications, and you can browse them in the tab General, Field Modified, that include the date, time, and user who made the update. For the metadata, it is also possible to edit multiple assets. Click on these checkboxes to select the desired assets, then click on the Edit command located in the upper part of the interface. You can now edit all the fields that the selected assets have in common. Once the update has been done, click Save, Save and Continue. To delete an asset from the Option menu, select Delete. A warning pop-up will ask you to confirm your intention to delete. In this way, the asset is logically removed, moved to the recycle bin, and is no longer present in the general catalog. To access the bin, press the recycle bin icon on the left side of the interface. All the deleted assets are shown, and according to your user rights, you can also view assets deleted by other users. It is also possible to recover the deleted asset clicking on the Recover icon. The asset will return to its original location. Only system administrators and super users can empty the recycle bin. In this way, the assets will be permanently deleted from the system as well as the media associated with them. For multiple deletions, select the assets to be deleted using the checkboxes. The recycle bin icon is also available in the upper part of the interface. Pressing the icon Deselect all items, it is possible to select all the assets of the page with a single click and edit or delete them. Another possibility in the Options menu of the single asset is to duplicate the metadata sheet. A copy of the asset is created with all the inherited metadata, but not the media. By entering the duplicated asset with the Edit option, it is possible to edit the metadata and, above all, add a new media. This function can be useful when there are different declinations of the same type of media to upload, to speed up the metadata process. The Quick Search tool allows you to find the assets in the catalog. Type the asset keywords in the search bar. Arkki Engine will search for them looking at all the metadata. Click on the lens icon or press Enter to see all those assets related to the entered keywords. The command Optimize Results allows you to further filter the search results so that the words entered are traced exclusively in that exact sequence and declension, so you will have fewer but more accurate results. Click on the filter icon to choose whether to search only within the drafts, the publish assets, or to restrict the search to current catalog. This last function is useful when you're navigating in a specific category. Click on the triangle icon to the right of the lens icon to access the Advanced Search panel. Here you can search for contents of a specific type, such as video, audio, documents, project files, or you can search within a selected folder or space. For each of these selections, you can type the search keys in every field of the metadata sheet. The search keys can be text, data, multi-selection, drop-down menu, according to the selected field. In the technical metadata fields, you can search to retrieve the original file based on the file type, file extension, size, or other technical details. Using the fields in the General tab, you can search for an asset by owner, ID, MD5 file hash, hexadecimal identification code, creation date range, updated date range, file size range, file names in the archives or uploaded via watch folder, and finally, categories. When the search parameters and criteria have been defined, click on Search to run the research. When finished to search and browse, press Reset to cancel the search criteria and go back to the home page. From the left menu, you can access the Collection tool. Once you're in, press Add to create a new collection. Select Add Asset to search for the desired assets to add to the new collection. Click on the plus icon to add the searched asset to the collection, regardless of the asset type, video, audio, picture, or whatever else. From the same screen, it is possible to carry out further searches. When retrieval is complete, press the Close button, and the list of selected assets will be shown on the left side of the screen. The list can be reordered or deleted using the Recycle Bin icon. On the right side, you can fill in the metadata fields of the new collection. Select whether to keep the collection in draft or publish to make it visible to other Arkki users. Type in a title and a description for the collection and then press Save and Save and Continue. From now on, the collection of assets is visible and can be browsed by all entitled users. From the menu button, you can access the collection management functions. Select Download to download all the assets in the collection. You can also choose to download the metadata plain text format or the metadata JSON format, the original file, or the low-resolution proxy files. Press Download to start the download process on your local machine. The interface will show a zip folder that contains all the downloaded files. The collection can also be shared. For the share options, please refer to the dedicated chapter. Press Edit to add or remove assets within the collection or to update the metadata. Press Delete to remove the collection. All the original assets will remain in the main catalog. Press Close to return to the Home Collections menu. In addition to the creation of individual assets, you can add containers called folder or space. The goal is to group multiple assets, even if of different types, within the same working space. Press Add and then Space. You can now proceed to fill in the metadata fields of the folder as you're used to doing for the assets. Even in this case, the fields can be customized according to the needs of the users. When you've filled in all the relevant fields with particular attention to the mandatory ones identified by the red asterisks, you can choose from the General tab if the new folder must be draft and therefore private, or published and therefore visible by other users. Press Save and Continue to end the procedure. The new folder is now available in the General catalog, and it can be populated by loading assets. From the option menu of an asset, select the Move option and then select the folder where to put the asset. Press Confirm to put the asset in the selected folder. From now on, the asset will no longer be visible in the General catalog, and it will be visible in the new folder. Using the same procedure, you can move other assets. Entering in the folder, you can see all the contained assets. It is possible to add subfolders with the already seen procedure. Select Add and then Space. You can then load assets in the subfolder, and therefore a tree structure will be generated consisting of a main space within which you have the assets organized in subspaces. Click on the Options menu and select Detach all items inside to empty the folder and move the assets back to the General catalog. If necessary, select Delete the space and all items to delete the folder and automatically move back all the assets in the General catalog. If you want to move back only a specific asset of the working space, from the Option menu of the asset, select Detach from Space, and the asset will return to the General catalog. To the left, you can find the item category that allows you to group the assets of the General catalog in a structured tree. Indeed, each category can be divided into subcategories to organize the contents in a way that is as consistent as possible with your workflow. Click on one of the categories to access the assets of that specific node. To link an asset to a specific category, enter the Option menu, choose the Edit command, and select the desired categories you want the asset to be part of. You can select more than one category because a single asset can be part of several categories at the same time. The system will establish a logical connection. There will be no physical movement of the asset. Select Save and then Publish. The asset will still be present in the General catalog, and selecting a specific category, only the associated assets will be shown. Only the super users, a specific group of users, can edit the tree structure, adding or deleting categories. Indeed, when you click on the Edit Categories command, you are redirected to the Administration panel, where you can associate the categories to some types of assets, and clicking on the Categories Trees command, you can create, rename, remove, and rearrange the categories structure. Just right-click the mouse button and choose the desired option. To reorder the category tree, drag and drop the selected category. Click on Save to save the modified tree structure. Return to the General catalog to see the change made on the categories tree. A user group can manage the rights to view and use the contents of a specific category. Go on the desired node of the tree and right-click the mouse to access a pop-up dedicated to the permissions management. Using the drop-down menus, you can choose to allow users, deny users, allow group of users, or deny group of users for some of the features related to the assets in that category. These functions' rights are View, Download Assets Metadata, Download Original File, Download Proxy, Download Proxy with watermark, Share via link, Export with file conversion in a different format, Edit and soft delete and recovery of assets. Once the configuration is complete, click Save. In this way, you have different subcatalogs that can be used by different departments. Assets containing media such as video or audio may be subject to conversion or transcoding. This will be carried out automatically by the Arkki platform. From a video asset, go to the menu and select the export command. In the pop-up menu, you can find all the conversions and transcodings implemented on the system, such as video to MP3 audio or MP4 at different bit rates. The setting of these configurations are made by system administrators or media power engineers and can also be implemented while the system is in production according to the user needs. Select one or more options from those available and click Export. A pop-up bar in the lower part of the interface shows you the progress of the selected transcoding. When finished, the file is ready to be downloaded by clicking on the relative icon. The browser will show that the download has taken place. You can download files relating to individual assets, folders, or collections. Choose the desired asset, click on the menu button, and select Download. Based on the platform configurations and the rights of the group of users, you can download the original file, proxy file with watermark, metadata plain text format, or metadata JSON format. Select the options of interest, then click Download to start the process. A zip folder containing all the selected files will then be available from your browser. In case of image type assets like photos, pictures, graphics, and so on, you can download different versions of the same file with different extensions and reduce the resolution. Conversions are done automatically by the Arkki platform, and their settings are generally configured by the system administrators or media power engineers. Clicking on one of the available conversion types, the download will start automatically. You can share a single asset, a folder, or a collection using the sharing option. Select an asset, click on the menu button, and choose the option Share. If you want, you can generate public link and add some rights to the asset. This will allow the recipient of the link to view the material and download additional information. These options are customizable, and they are implemented by the system administrators or media power engineers. You can give permission to the final recipient to download the metadata in JSON or textual format, download the original file, or only a low-resolution copy. The low-resolution copy is called a proxy and is automatically generated by the Arkki system, eventually in two versions, clean or with an embedded watermark. You can also add a time token or link expiration date. After this date, the link will no longer be usable by the recipient. Once these options have been selected, click Save and you'll get the link, which can be copied and sent to the external recipient. If the link is not accessible via the public internet, the recipient will have to access the company domain through a mechanism for accessing the private network, such as a VPN. If the assets of the catalog show apparent anomalies on the associated media, you can carry out an initial troubleshooting. From the Asset Options menu, select the Process function. This function has two subsystems. File will check the original media and will eventually regenerate the preview, a useful function especially in the case of video type assets. Technical metadata, the second sub-item, will scan the information relating to the original file. The scan will then be reported in the Asset tabs under the Technical Info and Media Info tabs. After having triggered these processes by entering the asset, you can verify that the information is now consistent with the original media. After regenerating, The preview must be useful in the left-hand portion of the interface, and the Technical Info and Media Info tabs must be populated with the information relating to the metadata of the original file. After these actions, if the anomalies persist, it'll be necessary to submit the problem to your system administrators or maintenance staff. You can export all the metadata of all the assets in the catalog with the command export catalog, CSV. The CSV file is downloaded locally and can be opened on a worksheet as a table. As an example, in this table you can see all the metadata relating to all the assets in the catalog.